Capricorn, and welcome to your September 2015 Taroscope reading with me. Hi guys, and thanks for tuning in. You might already be aware that September is a relatively active astrological month. There is a lot going on around us, so therefore emotionally within us and even physically for the planet as well. We have eclipses, we have supermoons, we have Mercury going retrograde, among other things. So I think a lot of people will feel quite big changes coming for September, and bear in mind that eclipses will keep the continuity of emotional change and spiritual growth going for some time. 3 to 6 months, and even sometimes for some people years ahead. So it's quite important really to focus on new energies that are coming in and make sure that you're aligning yourself with the directions that you want to go in for your future. Visualize positivity and success and your goals. It's quite a good time to realign goals and put them in place and kickstart them. So for the reading this month, we are using the John Holland Tarot deck with the beautiful color-based energies, and there'll be 4 cards, one for each week of the month, and then a high vibration at the end. And I have brought in this gorgeous Healing Point rose quartz energy for you guys, as well as this gorgeous fluorite wand. So I'll just move them a little bit to the side. Now we will shuffle the cards and see what's in store for you Capricorns. It's also merging into spring down here for us in the southern hemisphere, and for autumn or fall for you guys up there. So the change in seasons can quite often also just bring about changes emotionally and physically with us and again the planet. So let's see Capricorn, what's in store for you. Your first card is the 2, and it's the purple border energies, which are the wands, which represent fire signs such as Sagittarius, Leo and Aries, and this is called the waiting game. Your second card is a major arcana, and it's a number 2. Oh, there's 2 2s to begin your reading with. This would traditionally be the High Priestess card. For your third week in September, you have another major arcana card, and this is the number 13, which is traditionally known, or in most traditional tarot decks is known as the Death card. I'll just move these across a little bit. They're a bit bigger than the standard tarot. For your 4th week in September, we have 5 with the blue border, which represents swords, which is the mental aspect of life, and these can represent air signs such as Aquarius, Libra and Gemini, and this one says conflict and defeat. So let's work through this Capricorns. As I suggested, there feels to be quite some momentous propensity for change in this month of September and the months thereafter. We see this quite strongly here in this card, the Transformation card, and you see the picture, which is really rather lovely. She's emerging and growing wings, so her whole life is transforming. So I think there will be, when this card turns up, it is an in-depth one, and it's quite often about working through your entire psyche and who you are. You'll know by now that when I say the major arcana cards come to us, it's about the universe directing change and flow rather than about us specifically looking for it or seeking it. But let's go to the first card, which is the 2 of what would traditionally be known as the wands, and it's called the waiting game. In the traditional tarot, this is a man standing there holding a globe like the earth in his hand, and one wand in the other hand, and a wand behind him, and he's looking out into the distance. I very much think of it as someone who is reevaluating their goals, their dreams, their desires, and thinking ahead and planning. So there could be a little bit of this for you, but what the card suggests is that maybe there are other things that have to fall into place for all of your perspectives and dreams to happen. So there's more work to be done at various levels. Often it's just saying that your aspirations will take place, it will form, but you need this kickstart from other areas as well. So maybe pays to look around and see what else it is that you're either missing or not connecting with to make these things happen and come into a reality. The other thing I often feel about the card is that it can denote travel. Just the way he's standing there with the globe in his hand and looking outwards. The other thing that twos denote, and you've got two of them in a row, so it's sort of emphasising it, is about balance, and it's maintaining balance in your relationships, you know, partnerships where two people are involved, or businesses, or your money, or your health, your emotions. So it's a message here for you guys about making sure you maintain the balance somewhere in your life. If you feel as though things are spinning out of balance a little bit, which could be the case with September energies because they can be quite powerful and fast, ground yourself a little bit. Bring yourself back down and ground yourself like the roots in this tree. And because you're Capricorn, you're the earth sign anyhow, so you know about grounding, you know about that solid energy and the strength that it can give you, because that's where you get your power from, Capricorn, being grounded and being firm and authoritative. So there might be a need for you to call on that in January and September as well. Moving into the second week for September, and we have this first major arcana, the number 2, the intuition, which would represent the High Priestess. I really like this card. It, again, well, we know it's talking about balance. I've already mentioned that. Very much spiritual balance. Also your female male energies, the feminine and masculine, bring that back into harmony. So there could be some hormone messages here for either male or female actually, but I think of often female hormone messages. Maybe some of those need bringing into balance. There may be some people coming into a menopause period. There may also be some younger people coming into a very fertile cycle periods. This is a card that can often suggest sexual attraction and activity. So some of you may find new partners around this, or you may find yourselves particularly attracted to others, and vice versa. It could be quite a combustible sort of sexy energy going on there. I'll read some of the words from the John Holland book and see how he interprets this card in his own words. It is, before I start, it is also very much about connecting with your intuition and your clairvoyance and your spirituality and your psychic powers and dream times. I'm getting the feeling in a lot of the readings that dreams are going to become quite prominent for people. You might get messages from dreams, you might connect with other people in sort of an astral plane or dreamscape time. I suggest keeping a dream journal and really connecting if you can. Remember your dreams and see what messages are there for you. Back to his words in the book. Intuition is the language of the soul. When this card shows up in a reading, it's a clear message that it's time for you to use your intuition. Just give it a chance and you'll quickly notice how it might be trying to get your attention. With so much information in this world vying for every thought, it's easy to ignore or fail to acknowledge your own insights. Synchronicities and so-called coincidences are powerful signs that intuition is knocking on your door. Have you heard a phrase or a saying repeated by more than one person today? Do the same numbers keep showing up in your life? Has someone mentioned the name of a specific individual whom you were just thinking of? These are all signs for you to pause, be open and pay attention. This is a perfect time to seek the answers from within. Turn inward, where you'll find the solutions and valuable insights that are waiting to assist you. When you learn to use and trust your intuition, you'll begin to have a sense of not only the right timing, but you'll also begin to perceive people and situations with a deeper and more discerning eye. You'll not only observe beneath and beyond what's actually in front of you, you'll see the real deal. So that might be part of what this waiting game is, you know, just even you connecting with the things that you're looking for, and that, you know, it's like putting the pieces of a puzzle together. The pieces might be all there, but they're just not connected. So we come on to the third week and we come to this other major arcana, and we see it's called Transformation, which I much rather prefer that name than the original tarot, which is called Death, which some people get a little frightened of. Not that you should be, because everything is cyclic in life. There is no beginning and there is no ending. from one cycle you move into another. Sometimes we're not aware of those cycles. We're not necessarily aware that we were in another dimensional space before we came to this one, but we were. And henceforth we'll travel back to another dimension eventually. But this card is not so much about that. It's about the transformations in your life right now, and it's about the opportunities the universe is opening the doors for you in this month of September. If you are ready to pick up the vibration and opportunities of change and transformation, this is your time to really grasp it and say, yep, I'm all aboard, I'm going for this. It's usually not easy. It often is a time of a little bit of angst and anxiety and fear of the unknown, if you like. But if you're ready to take the step and say, yes, this is my life, this is what I've been waiting for, then all the doors will open and you walk into the rest of the who you are, and you find it out and you connect with it, and then the waiting game starts to disappear and you move forward. So again, I will read you some of his words, because he has nice words in his book and they're usually powerful and positive. A time of endings is close at hand. Don't resist the abrupt changes that are suddenly happening in your life. These could be taking place in your personal life, relationships, business or career. You have the strength, as the transformation card asks you to have courage and to know that renewal follows every conclusion. This card comes forth to remind you that the death of an old way of thinking and believing must occur before you can move forward on your new path. Transformation is all about the ebb and flow of life cycles. Nothing in this life remains motionless. Everything is on its way to somewhere. Accept the changes, and opportunity will come to expand you in more ways than you could ever have imagined. You can't live in the past, and it's time to move on. In order to take the next positive step, you should look closely at your own life and ask yourself, are there any loose ends that need to be tied up? Are there people in my life whom I need to express myself to? What needs to be completed so I can have a fresh start? And when you do these things, you will soon have a stronger, more reinforced foundation to carry you through the new beginnings that await you. So it really is a positive card. I think if we think of from a health perspective, I would say just make sure you're getting enough rest. If there are any times when you are feeling anxious, deal with anxiety or fear or any depression that comes along with it with positive forms of therapy. You can do meditation, you can do yoga, you can do exercise, walking or running. You can connect with someone, a therapist who might be able to help you. That's sometimes the messages I get for that card, if any of that is around. We come to the fourth week, and we see here this conflict and defeat, which is the swords. So it would traditionally be the Five of Swords. And interestingly enough, in the traditional tarot deck, it actually is a card of the person it's your reading, having found success through something. So there's this feeling of, yeah, hey, I've won, but someone else has a bit of defeat around it and they're walking away. So sometimes it can be winning a situation or a cause or an argument, but it's not completely overtly easy. Someone is hurt by it and someone can often leave. So this is a time where you may see people leaving, and again we're seeing this message for you in the reading. But so are most of all of the other star signs as well. There's much comings and goings in September, and you've got to focus on the new stuff. This card tells us to think twice before we speak. You know, think about the words you're using. If you're going to get into a discussion or a debate with people, be kind and be considerate and think, how would I like to be spoken to? Even if it's something that needs addressing and that you're right about, there's always more than one way to approach a situation. So try and keep balance again. So there's the balance coming back in at the end here. Keep the fairness, and don't take offence to other people's foolishness or words that might hurt. Let yourself rise above that and let those ones pass you by. So basically his words are pretty much exactly what I've just said. It's sort of, he says sometimes it's best to surrender and walk away if no victory or certain victory can be achieved. Don't assign blame or become deceitful or set out to get revenge, because none of those work. And I think this beautiful rose quartz healing point in here is really nice for your reading, because it's bringing in just positive energies of peace, love, compassion and tolerance and calmness, which is a nice format to add to the reading. So there we are, Capricorn. You've got it's a sort of there's a bit of up and down in your reading. There's balance required at this end, as it feels as if it starts off a wee bit sluggish, a little bit slow. Then we tend to see movement coming in along this end, and you know, a little bit of perhaps change that you may not have expected or necessarily wanted, but eventually know that it's taking you to the next step in your life, which is always important. So guys, we'll finish there with those cards, and I will get the next ones out, these ones, and we'll see what message you are going to receive to amplify that. Let's have a look. Haniel, courage. Okay, and that makes sense if we're thinking of the changes, and the transformation card, it talked specifically about courage. So you're getting the message to know you do have the courage, Capricorn, because you are one of the stronger zodiac signs, and I think you have great internal strength. You often don't tell everyone else about your turmoils or what's going on. You tend to keep them a little bit close to your chest, but you're such a stable, grounded person that you can work through a lot of this often. So your courage is profound, and it's here at the base chakra, and this is the lower chakra around the base of your spine and through your hips. It's the grounding earth chakra, so it matches your energies for the month. So I think that you're going to get some sort of universal support to help you through any unexpected changes that are coming, and know that you are really strong and that you have this beautiful universal support energy of great courage from Haniel. So there you are, guys. I wish you very well for September. Lots of potential change coming if you want to uplift it and embrace it, and lots of connecting with yourself at the spiritual level. Coincidences, synchronicities, I love all that energy. It's powerful, and it's out there for everyone to, you know, grab onto and push yourself forward with it. So again, guys, thank you for subbing, listening and liking, and all your comments. I love them all. And if you want to uplift a private reading with me, just follow the links below the video. So take care, everyone. Have a wonderful September, and I will be with you in October. Kia kaha, ka kite anoa. Much aroha. Namaste.